Hi, I'm Jeff from AAT Instructor Training, and I'm passionate about helping people like you to become happy, successful, and profitable driving instructors. In this video, I'm going to share some archive footage showing how the driving test has evolved over the decades, and I'd love to read your comments. In the UK, the driving test was introduced in 1935 and has continuously evolved since then, although the core principles have stayed the same, i.e., assessing a person's ability to drive safely, confidently, and considerably towards all the other road users. If you want to learn how to deliver driving lessons that meet the current standards required by the DVSA, then you need to subscribe to our extensive student video library. Just click on the link in the info below. For less than 40 pence per day, you'll be able to watch hundreds of real lessons delivered by a Grade A driving instructor covering every subject involved in driver training, from a very first lesson all the way up to test standard. All the videos are a short section of a real lesson, so you can watch them in around 8 to 15 minute chunks on any device, anytime, and re-watch them over and over again. Plus, if you want to learn more, you can ask me questions in the comments box below each video and I'll get back to you ASAP. AAT's video library is an essential resource for anyone training to become a driving instructor or wanting to develop their teaching skills, all for less than 40 pence per day. Okay, get yourself comfy, enjoy this little bit of history, and share it with your friends and family. I'm sure they're going to love it.
If there is one piece of advice I would offer learners, it is don't be nervous. Driving tests have one object, to make our roads safe, and the examination is not an inquisition, but, as you will see, a series of very reasonable tests. A good start increases the possibilities of a good finish, so applicants should not forget to bring their driving license and insurance certificate, without which they cannot be tested. Then, after an eyesight test, the examiner asks questions on the highway code. This includes correct signals such as I am slowing down, I am turning right, should be signaled like this. And here's the correct signal for you may pass me. This sort of signal is unfortunately very common. It's not only wrong, but meaningless. Don't flick your cigarette ash outside, it's very misleading. After questions, the drive begins and the examiner watches for correct signals and road courtesies. Driving merrily along and wishing to pass another car, your arm should signal clearly that you are pulling out. Always let following traffic know what you are going to do. Look at this driver. He is determined to pass the vehicle in front, no matter what is approaching. It's pure selfishness and it's dangerous. Never drive like this chap, right on the crown of the road. It's a dangerous nuisance to following traffic, and puts a big black blot on the driver's copybook. Coming from a side turning without stopping is as bad as driving with your eyes closed. It's criminal. And so is blinding over crossroads. Taking a right-hand bend on the wrong side is asking for trouble, and the examiner doesn't like it. Why not take it wide and slowly? It's easier and safer. All things like those are noticed during the drive. Definite tests are quite reasonable and include a normal stop at the edge of the road. A good driver stops near the curb, and with the restart he gets away smoothly. This one is much too far away from the side, as the examiner can see. This test is followed by a start on a hill. When the examiner tells you to go forward, it's a point on the debit side if you drift back like this, and then jerk your way forward. A jerky start often means stalling your engine. This wears down your battery, your nerves, and the examiner's patience. The next test is an emergency stop and restart. Do it properly like this and your examination stock will rise. On the other hand, if you do the reversing test like this, your stock will be at a distinct discount, and your chance of driving the family on Sunday will disappear. A good reverse is a definite point in your favor, and it's not so very difficult. Here's an example of really clean reversing, and it's handy for parking too. One like this, of course, is not included in the test, but it's a useful accomplishment. Now, reversing in a road, using forward and reverse gear. When the examiner says the road, he means the road, not the pavement. It looks funny, I know, but examiners don't appreciate such humor. Clean, smooth turns show the good driver on whom the examiner's smile will beam with satisfaction. When you pull out from the curb, see that you give the correct signal and only proceed when you know that it is safe to do so. Pulling out without heeding passing traffic is as stupid as it is dangerous. It's asking for trouble. One last tip to prospective applicants. Don't look down on your gear lever when changing. Examiners don't like cars on pavements. The tests, as you know, are not terribly difficult. Study your highway code, think what you're doing, drive with care and consideration, and remember what you have seen on this film. Then we shall have the pleasure of greeting you as a member of the Fellowship of the Road.
With over 60 motor vehicles to every mile of classified road, Great Britain has the most congested roadways in the world. Small wonder that everyone has to pass a driving test before he's considered competent to drive. Let's take a look at a test in progress. When you arrive for the appointment, the inspection of the papers will probably take place indoors. And then out to the car with the examiner, and the test is on. The eyesight test, you're asked to read a car number plate at 25 yards. If you can't, then the test is off. So if you wear glasses, don't forget them not only for the test, but whenever you drive. When this is over, sit quietly in the car and listen carefully while the examiner explains how he'll conduct the test and what he expects you to do. Before you move off, check the mirror and make sure that it's safe. a pedestrian crossing, a good signal, and be ready to move off smartly. A right turn, mirror and signal, and move over towards the road centre. Slowing down, a good signal. A left turn, mirror and signal again. And the reversing test. Pull up past the opening. Lock over quickly. Straighten up. And continue slowly back. And when you come forward, remember to look right and right again before you come out. The emergency stop. No need to signal. And the hill start. The overtake signals recognized in the highway code when you're pulling into the curb. Before you move off, check the mirror, and of course, don't run back. The turn in the road, use the handbrake. Check that it's safe behind, and remember to be quick with the steering. And look right and right again before you come forward. Back towards the city. A left turn. Remember to keep well in. This is perhaps running a bit wide. A right turn at traffic signals. A good signal and position near to the road centre. Wait till it's safe. And a good position allowing that cyclist plenty of room. You'll be failed if you don't realize the need for that kind of care. A pedestrian crossing, keep the signal going as a warning to following cars. Another good signal. And back at test headquarters, parking the car as directed by the examiner. A few questions on the highway code shouldn't be difficult, as you ought to know the highway code almost by heart. If you've kept your head and had sufficient experience, you may get the welcome pink slip indicating a pass. And you'll be able to drive on your own for the first time. But remember, you've still a lot to learn. So continue to exercise every possible care.
I'm afraid my mind's a complete blank.
Don't worry, Mrs. Bell. I wouldn't have let you take the test if I didn't think you were ready for it. Here, you'll need this.
Oh, thank you. I wish I could relax. I haven't felt so nervous since the day I got married. If only my instructor was testing me, then I know I'd pass. I wonder what my examiner's going to be like. I hear so many terrible things about them.
Mrs. Bell? Mrs. Bell? Would you lead the way to your vehicle, please? Good morning, Mrs. Bell. Would you sign against your name, please? Thank you. Would you lead the way to your vehicle, please? Would you read the number plate of that blue car parked over there, please?
ONM 456.
Thank you. Would you get into your own car now, please?
Well, at least I got that right. I didn't feel so nervous about the rest of the test.
Try not to worry, Mrs. Bell. It's natural to feel nervous beforehand. Anyhow, you have a fine day for it.
Yes.
Follow the road ahead unless I ask you to turn. I'll tell you which way to go in good time. Move off when you're ready, please. Take the next turn on the left, please. Very shortly, I shall ask you to stop, as in an emergency. The signal will be like this. Stop! When I do that, stop as quickly as you can, with safety, as though a child had run off the pavement.
I see.
Drive on when you're ready, please. Stop! Thank you. I shan't ask you to carry out that exercise again. Please drive on when you're ready. That road on the left is the one I should like you to reverse into. Drive past it and stop, and then back in and continue to drive in reverse gear for some distance, keeping reasonably close to the curb. Turn your car around to face the opposite way, using your forward and reverse gears. Try not to touch the curb when you're turning.
Yes.
You pull up at a convenient place along here, please.
Yes. Good heavens, are we back already? It only seems 5 minutes ago that we started.
Actually, it's been a little over half an hour. Now, I'm going to put some questions to you on the highway code and other motoring matters. What is the meaning of the amber traffic light on its own?
Oh, that means it's going to turn to red. I've got to stop unless it's unsafe to do so.
Thank you. What particular care should be taken when parking at night?
Parking at night? Oh, you should park with the near side to the curb and make sure that the headlights are off.
Thank you. When may you overtake a vehicle on the left?
When it's pulled over to turn right, or if I'm going to filter to the left.
Well, it's the end of your test, Mrs. Bell, and I'm pleased to tell you you've passed.
Your test will last about 40 minutes, and you can take your instructor with you if you want. Before going out on the road, you'll do an eyesight check and be asked one safety question. You'll drive in various road and traffic conditions and drive independently for about 20 minutes. You'll need to follow directions, either from the examiner's sat-nav or a series of traffic signs. It doesn't matter if you go the wrong way or need to check where you're going. Driving safely is what counts. Your examiner will ask you another safety question while you're driving, such as showing how you'd wash the windscreen or turn on the heated rear window. You'll have to do one reversing manoeuvre. This could be parking in a bay. The examiner will ask you to either drive in and reverse out, or reverse in and drive out. Or you could be asked to do parallel parking at the side of the road. Or you might be asked to pull up on the right-hand side of the road. You'll need to reverse for about 2 car lengths, and then rejoin the traffic. You'll also do controlled stops to check that you can stop and move away safely. You might also be asked to do an emergency stop. At the end of the test, your examiner will tell you if you've passed and give you feedback. You'll only fail if you make 16 or more driving faults or any serious or dangerous fault.